No one is coming to save you. That's the truth most people refuse to accept. There's no magical mentor who will suddenly appear to fix your problems. There's no perfect Monday when you'll wake up disciplined, energized, and ready. There's no secret sign waiting to push you in the right direction. If you're waiting for something outside of you to change your life, you've already lost too much time. This is the sign. Either you act now, or you keep watching your life go by like a movie in which you're not even the main character. The world doesn't pay for intentions. The world doesn't reward promises. The world only responds to execution. Today you face a choice. Keep collecting excuses, or start building what you always said you wanted. The difference between the two fits in a single step. It looks small, but inside that step lies the transformation of your entire story. How many times have you said, "I'll do it tomorrow"? You know you need to sleep earlier, work out, study, eat better, focus on what actually builds your future. But when the alarm goes off, you negotiate. When the notification pops, you give in. When fatigue hits, you surrender. Each of those little concessions feels harmless in the moment, but together they build a pattern. Your day begins on autopilot. You wake up, grab your phone before even getting out of bed, scroll endlessly, compare your life to the highlight reels of others, and you've already started behind. Then you spend the rest of the day putting out fires with no clear agenda, no defined priorities, and at night, exhausted, you promise yourself, tomorrow will be different. But it never is. And with each cycle, your self-trust fades a little more. Have you noticed how the gap between who you are today and who you know you could be keeps growing? Every broken promise is like a crack in your own word, and your word is the foundation of everything. If you no longer believe yourself, why would anyone else? Every time you say, "I'll change," and don't, the value of your voice decreases. Not for others, for you. And when you don't trust yourself, no productivity app, no colorful planner, no fancy calendar will fix it. The problem isn't a lack of motivation. Motivation is fragile. It evaporates at the first obstacle. The real problem is your tolerance for excuses. You create a story that justifies every failure. It's just today. I deserve it. This won't matter. And maybe once doesn't matter. But the accumulation of all those times builds your identity. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. 6 months from now, you could still be complaining about the same things, only with less energy and more frustration. 5 years from now, you'll look back and realize you wasted time on useless arguments, empty comparisons, cheap distractions. The price isn't just time lost, it's life wasted. Doors that never opened, opportunities that never came back, relationships that broke down because you lived in the almost. And there's something even more expensive than failure: regret. Failure teaches. Regret destroys. It shows up at night when the lights are out and silence fills the room. It reminds you of everything you could have done but didn't. And it charges interest. Heavy interest. Failure hurts in the moment, but regret stays with you for years. It doesn't let you rest. It whispers that you could have been more, but you chose less. There's also an invisible cost, one you don't notice right away, but that shapes your entire life. Every time you run from discomfort, you train your mind to always pick the easier road. You teach your brain that the shortcut is the best option, but life doesn't get easier out there. You get weaker. It's like a muscle you never use. It atrophies. And when the time comes to lift something heavy, to face a crisis, make a tough decision, seize an opportunity, you don't have the emotional strength to carry it. The good news is that the reverse is also true. Every micro-action builds trust. Trust creates consistency. Consistency changes results. It's a simple chain, but a powerful one. When you force yourself to take a small step, waking up when you said you would, writing a single paragraph, putting on your shoes and walking for 5 minutes, you're sending a message to your brain: I do what I say. That message may feel small, but repeated daily, it rebuilds your confidence from the inside out. This is where most people get it wrong. They expect a magical overnight transformation. They think one morning they'll wake up disciplined, distraction-proof, full of energy. That's not going to happen. What happens is much simpler and far more powerful. You choose one small action and follow through. Then another, and another. Slowly, you build the identity of someone who keeps their word. That's the difference between living as a passenger and taking the wheel. When you outsource your life to your mood, to the algorithm, to other people's opinions, you're giving up control. But when you act even in discomfort, even in fatigue, you reclaim the driver's seat. It's not about changing everything at once. It's about starting small, but non-negotiable. It's not about waking up perfect tomorrow. It's about waking up responsible today. Perfection is a trap. It's an excuse dressed up as an ideal. You don't need to transform every area of your life at once. You just need to win the next hour. That's the dividing line between those who truly change and those stuck in empty speeches. It's not a complex plan. It's the ability to act on the very next step. Want a starting point? Pick one. Now, decide that for the next 24 hours, you're going to be the person who keeps their word. Not for a week, not for a month, not to impress anyone, just for one day. 24 hours without negotiating with your excuses. Tomorrow, repeat. The next day, repeat again. The cycle is so simple it almost seems too small to matter, but that's exactly where transformation lives. Real change doesn't happen in grand intentions. It happens in small, clear, non-negotiable agreements. Getting up without hitting snooze, moving your body for 20 minutes, even when you don't feel like it. Attacking one critical task before you even glance at social media. Guarding your attention like it's the most valuable asset you own, because it is. Each of these small acts is a brick. Alone, they look insignificant. Stacked daily, they build a fortress. And here's the secret. When you keep those agreements, your brain learns something vital. It learns that you do what you say. That kind of self-trust can't be bought, borrowed, or faked. It only comes from repeating small wins over and over again. Each day you follow through, you cast a vote for the stronger version of yourself. Each day you break the cycle. You prove to yourself you're willing to be reliable. And once you're reliable to yourself, you don't need external approval to move forward. You've built a kind of strength no one can take away, a silent engine, an invisible advantage. If you want to change the direction of your life, start by controlling the first hour of your day. This is the most valuable space you have because it hasn't yet been invaded by the chaos of the outside world. Before the messages, before the news, before social media, you have a clean slate. And it's in that space where you plant the right seeds. Use the 20-20-20 protocol, 20 minutes of movement, 20 minutes of mental focus, and 20 minutes of deep execution. Simple, direct, and transformative. For the first 20 minutes, move your body. You don't need an expensive gym or fancy equipment. It could be a brisk walk, stretching, jump rope, climbing stairs. The rule is simple. Sweat. When your body wakes up, your mind switches on. Your brain understands that the day has started and you're ready to play. For the next 20 minutes, focus your mind. This could mean deep breathing, journaling 3 lines about what truly matters today, writing down what you'll avoid, or reading 10 pages of a book. The format doesn't matter nearly as much as the intention: clarity. This block is where you tell yourself what's going to drive your day, instead of letting randomness decide. For the final 20 minutes, execute. Pick one heart task for the day, something that, if completed, makes the entire day worthwhile. Maybe it's sending that proposal, finishing that report, recording that video. Turn off notifications, close tabs, forget your phone. Give yourself 20 minutes of undivided attention on what matters. This protocol might sound too short to matter, but it builds powerful traction because you start the day in control. And when the first hour is under your command, the rest of the day runs to catch up. You don't need to win every single hour, you need to win the first one. Once you've conquered the first hour of your day, you need to give direction to the rest of it. This is where the 1-3-5 rule comes in, one of the simplest and most effective ways to set priorities. The biggest mistake people make is creating endless to-do lists and believing productivity means doing more. It doesn't. Productivity is doing what truly matters. The rule is straightforward. 1, 3, 5. One main goal, 3 important tasks, and 5 smaller tasks. The 1 is the heart of your day. It's the single achievement that, if completed, makes the whole day worthwhile. It could be closing a contract, finishing a chapter, submitting a proposal. If you accomplish this one thing, you've already won the day. The 3 are supporting pillars. These are meaningful tasks that aren't huge on their own, but combined, push the main goal forward. Examples: studying a key topic, reviewing essential material, giving feedback to a teammate. They maintain momentum. The 5 are quick operational tasks that clear mental clutter, replying to an email, organizing a file, paying a bill. They seem minor, but when checked off, they free up mental bandwidth that would otherwise weigh you down. Write this list on paper, not just in your phone. Keep it visible. And every time you cross something off, you'll feel the right kind of reward. Dopamine tied to completion, not distraction. That hit of satisfaction is powerful reinforcement because it teaches your brain to crave progress instead of noise. Don't fall into the trap of trying to do everything in one day. When everything is a priority, nothing is. The clarity of the 1 to 3, 5 rule forces you to choose. And choosing means taking responsibility. You can't control everything, but you can control where you direct your energy. And focused energy is worth far more than hours scattered across meaningless tasks. Now that you've clarified your priorities, the next step is to protect your attention. And to do that, you need to reset how you handle dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter of desire, of motivation. The problem is that in today's world, it's hijacked. Every notification, every short video, every red dot on your phone is designed to hook you, to make you chase instant gratification instead of long-term progress. That's why so many people start their day already defeated. The first thing they do is grab their phone, scroll through social media, and compare their life to carefully edited fragments of others. That flood of stimulation creates fake dopamine spikes, fast in, fast out, leaving you drained, anxious, and unfocused. The solution is simple, but powerful. Go on a dopamine diet for 7 days. Set clear rules. No social media for the first 90 minutes after you wake up, or the last 90 minutes before you sleep. No juggling multiple screens at once. Cut back on sugar and processed junk during the week because those also create artificial highs followed by crashes. Replace those habits with 2 basics, water and sunlight. Stay hydrated all day long. It sounds obvious, but even mild dehydration weakens focus and mood. And get a few minutes of natural light in the morning. That small act resets your biological clock, improves sleep, and reduces the urge to chase micro pleasures all day. When you cut out artificial spikes and strengthen the basics, you build stability. And with stability comes clarity. A mind that isn't bombarded every 5 seconds can actually hold attention on one thing long enough to make real progress. And sustained attention, that's the raw material of every meaningful achievement. Even with clear priorities and stable energy, there's still one enemy everyone faces: procrastination. You know the feeling. The document is open, but you don't type. The book is in your hand, but you don't read. The sneakers are by the door, but you don't put them on. It's like an invisible wall stands between you and action. That's where the 5-minute rule comes in. It's so simple it almost sounds silly, but it works. When you catch yourself procrastinating, don't promise hours of work. Promise just 5 minutes. Tell yourself, I'll work on this for 5 minutes. Or I'll train for 5 minutes. Or I'll read for 5 minutes. What happens next is almost magical. You break inertia, and inertia is the hardest part. Once you've started, your brain realizes you're already in motion. And 8 times out of 10, you keep going well past the 5 minutes. Why? Because motivation doesn't come before action. Motivation is created by action. This works because it lowers the psychological barrier. Thinking, I need to write a whole book is crushing. Thinking, I just need to write for 5 minutes feels doable. Your brain accepts it. It sees it as easy, approachable, possible. And in that little space, you trick yourself into turning the impossible into the achievable. And even if you stop after 5 minutes, you've already won. Because you acted. You showed yourself that you're the kind of person who moves, not the kind who freezes. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. The 5-minute rule isn't about massive productivity in a single day. It's about training the muscle of action. It's about forging the identity of someone who starts rather than someone who delays. Look around. No one is coming to save you. And far from being a curse, that's freedom. Because if no one is coming, it all depends on you. It means the key was never out there. It's been in your hands all along. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for next month. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for life to get easier. Life won't get easier. You're the one who gets stronger. But that only happens when you decide to act. Wake up tomorrow and remember, you don't have to transform everything at once. You just need to transform the next hour. You just need to complete the next action. You just need to keep the promise you made to yourself. Every time you follow through, you build trust. Every time you build trust, you create consistency. And consistency changes everything. Will it hurt? Yes. Will there be bad days? Plenty. But the pain of discipline lasts minutes. The pain of regret lasts years. And when you're tempted to quit, remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. 5 minutes of action beats 5 hours of guilt. And when you're about to fall into the trap of waiting, repeat it. No one is coming to save me. It's all in my hands. That phrase may sound harsh, but it's the truth that sets you free. Because once you understand it, you stop waiting and you start living. So choose one small action now. Stand up, open the file, write the first line, take the first step, then come back and say, I did it. If this video moved you even an inch, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you.